Right, so one of the many things that I picked up due to my insistence on playing only against AI was this poor habit, this very bad habit of trying to beat the AI in getting to the next level before him. Did I get all of that in? I think I did. What I'm trying to say is when we start the game in the Dark Age and we try to move to the next age before the AI. When you are playing against the extreme AI and you see that he has already moved up to the next age before you, that's kind of half the battle lost, or at least that's what it feels like. But this is a bad habit. If you want to graduate into playing against fellow human beings, uh, whatever you achieve against AI is not really helpful. But I have one game where I would like to show you how I go about it. And if I manage to get to play that replay, here we go. So this is once again Vikings versus Aztecs. I start as usual with one town center which houses 5. So I have to build houses immediately even as I line up new villagers and send the sheep under my town center. Two villagers building one house, one building another house, and then I have already asked the villager to do the next task, which is gather food from this sheep. Meanwhile, the scout is doing what he is supposed to do. And I have already found this forage bush while my villager count keeps on increasing. Because of these two houses, I'm not worried for a while. I have a significant population surplus available to grow. Now, you can also use your sheep for doing the scouting. Some people are very good at it. I am not, so I leave most of that hard work for my scout. As you can see on the little map here at the bottom uh, that I have my location here in the northeast of the map, closer to the northeast corner. And what I tend to do is after the first 6 villagers have been collected, I give them a control group number 2, and my scout is usually number 1 to begin with. And now I have sent my 8th villager out to lure while 7 are on the sheep. Only 6 are needed, but this is how I do it. One arrow onto the boar is enough to get him to chase you, so you have to run back to your town center. Then I clicked control button 2, just the number 2, and got them to attack the boar while the luring villager is already on to the sheep, where I will put the next one as well. So at 10 villagers, all of them are on food, 6 on the boar, 4 on the sheep. And the next one, the 5th, I don't put another one over here. 4 is what I do the shepherding with for the rest of the time. I have put in a forced drop of resources because I was running out of food and I need to keep villager production going. So my next villager builds the next house a little ahead of schedule perhaps, but that's how I like it. And then this guy, I have already tasked her to chop off this particular straggler tree, as it were. The next villager then is for this very nicely placed wood line, this tiny forest that I'm going to clear in my bid to end the planet at the earliest. I'm going to chop off all of this wood. I usually put 7 villagers on one lumber camp, and I'll plan for 7 more over here as time goes by. Meanwhile, I already know where my next boar is thanks to my scout, whom I have kept on this concentric circle run. So this villager goes off just as these guys are finishing. It took a little late, I was, but here we are. So I'm, instead of keeping them idle, I'll get them towards the boar. Meanwhile, the next villagers are going to be collecting wood. I have not found the last 2 sheep. Remember that I get 8 sheep, 4 close to the town center, then a couple somewhere else, and 2 more somewhere else. So the first 4 were, of course, there right away. Then the next 2 we found thanks to the scout, and we are still missing 2. So normally I would have found them by now and I would have sent them over here for these guys to continue, but I haven't. Instead, what I have found is these deer. Now, expert players like to push the deer using the scout. So if you just take the scout and make him stand over here just before the deer, between where the deer is and where your town center is. The deer will run in the direction of the town center, and then you can get your villagers over there to hit them. Now I have found them, but meanwhile I had already tasked these guys to build a mill and take care of these deer for food collection. So I'm sending these sheep in, but I will ask these guys, these hunters, to collect food from these last two sheep. Meanwhile, these four will go and collect food from these deer. Risky, very risky, probably time consuming, not at all ideal, not very efficient, but there I go. Speaking of non-efficient, look where I have sent this villager off to. I must have clicked one of these trees instead of one of these trees, and I haven't yet noticed it. I'm playing a recording, remember, so this is not live. I would be even worse if I was talking while I was playing live. So eventually I think I did notice this lady. And anyway, 21 villagers, more than 500 food collected, and I was already on my way to the feudal age, which was a pretty good effort in my opinion. And if we look at the opponent, he has also just started it. He is at 10% now, when I am already at 32, 31%. So I have definitely done this better than him, if that is indeed something that you are proud of doing. Does this really help? Well, I'll show you in the next video, where I have already taken a gamble here and um, uh, built this barracks down here, while my hunters are now off to the foraging. So I have gambled that my opponent is going to be on this side of the map and not on this side. This wood line was right in the front of my town center. Otherwise, that is normally where I would have built my barracks. So anyway, that is what I wanted to show you, that how to get to the next age ahead of the AI. 21 villages is what it takes me, and this game clock that is there, it's not actual time, it's faster than that. 9:40 is where I got into feudal age, and the AI still has not made it there. I've immediately started building one of the feudal age buildings, and the next villages are going to be over there. And finally, AI has also gotten to feudal age almost 20 seconds after me. So that is how I do it. I'm going to pause here, and I am going to uh, end this video on this particular note, because I don't want to bore you too much in one video. In the next video, we will continue this game, and then you will get to see exactly how terrible I am at this. But if you want to advance to the next age, to the feudal age, this is the quickest that I have achieved against the AI. Gotten it with 21 villages, no cap, just the loom and a busy town center throughout. That is, of course, a key to the game. Keep your town center busy, keep it busy, keep it busy. And I'll show you exactly how easy it is to forget that advice in the next video, whenever that comes up. Hope you're not hating this too much. Feel free to like and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully you will learn more from my mistakes than from your own. Have a good time. Bye bye.